Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Now, I'm gonna get this out of the way really quick because we have a lot to talk about. But if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It's a great time to subscribe right now because we are starting to get a lot of information about season 2 of Generation Q. And also in December, the 1st through the 25th, I'm releasing an L word video every single day. It's an L word advent calendar. I have L word on the brain. So make sure that you're subscribed, and if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you have any questions or thoughts, comment down below, and if you do all of those things, you'll be entered into a draw to win an L word goodie bag on Christmas Day. Now, yesterday we had Laurel on the Pants podcast. It was great. I loved it. If you haven't checked it out already, my video from yesterday, I'll link it in the cards above, was my opinion, my review of the episode with Leisha Kate and Laurel. So check that out if you haven't already. And because I usually, for this daily thing, I usually shoot the video the day before and then upload it overnight, fix everything after editing it, and then the video that's released that day was filmed the day before, I had to do Laurel's episode all in one day. And it was taking a really long time to upload, so I was up a little bit later than I normally am, and it kind of worked out in a really weird way because last Friday I dropped the news. I think I was one of the first people to report it because I actually saw Rosie's live, and we got the news that Rosie O'Donnell was going to be on the L Word Generation Q, and this wasn't through any like official sources, it was from Rosie herself. So I mean like media sources. So I dropped that during my live and we talked about it, and I'm gonna put a little clip in here. I'm afraid Rosie might play Carrie. I talked to someone else, an anonymous person, about the casting, and I was trying to get, so who are they playing? And I said Carrie, and it was like, just laughed, they didn't say anything. I think that would be interesting. Actually, I would really like to see that because Rosie O'Donnell is pretty different to Jennifer Beals. And if she, all the time Rosie seems to play a character that seems pretty similar to herself, so yeah, I think that would be interesting if she was Carrie. And so yesterday, just as I was posting my Laurel podcast video, Deadline reported that there was 3 new castings for the L Word Generation Q, and one of those was Rosie O'Donnell, and she was playing a character named Carrie. So I am taking that as she's playing Tina's fiance, because it would be ludicrous to have 2 characters with the same name, the same season, being introduced at the same time. Like, no one would do that. So that's the deduction that's brought me to this point. So that is what we were going to discuss in this video. I'm going to talk about the 2 other guest stars fairly quickly because it's a pretty cut and dry. They're coming and we get a little bit of information. So the Deadline article, if you look down below, I've linked it there if you want to read the whole thing, but I'll put on the screen the important parts. First thing to say that Jordan Hall, who plays Angie, got a well-deserved bump up to a series regular. So I think that wasn't really a surprise, and I kind of was under the impression she already was, but she definitely deserves it. I think she was only not in 1 episode in season 1, so she definitely deserves to be in them all. She's a really great actress and is having a great storyline at the moment. So our first guest star is Donald Faison, who most people, this is where I know him from, he was one of the stars of Scrubs with Zach Braff. He was the other male lead. He played Dr. Turk. And he was also in Clueless. That was the first thing I think I ever saw him in, and he was really great in both of those roles. He's not someone that I go and see everything he's in, but if I ever see him in something, I usually enjoy him in it. Like, he's pretty funny. And it says, Faison will play Tom, a self-deprecating editor who works with Alice. The actor's credits include, and then it just was, I think he worked on Ray Donovan too with Kate. So basically he's going to be working on Alice's show. Not too much information there. Second guest star is Griffin Dunn, who will guest star as Isaac, one of the biggest international art dealers who builds a relationship with Bette. He's Oscar nominated. He's been in This Is Us, Girls, House of Lies, loads of stuff. So I think we can deduce from the casting announcement that Bette is going back into the art world, especially if she's going to be building a relationship with someone. It's not like she just goes once and you know, buys a new art or something. So it sounds as though she's going back to where she's from, what she's passionate about, and yeah, I'm interested to see it. I thought maybe we might go more down like a political side, because even though she was running for mayor, the reason she was running, like the whole opioid crisis, is like, that's not something really like a mayor handles. I would think that would be more something to do with Congress, and you know, there might be her working more on the side of like for someone who's in a political office, but I can't really imagine that working for someone else. So yeah, I think it's cool that she's going back to art. I think it would have been really difficult to navigate kind of a political career for Bette, because I think it would have taken over too much of the show. And obviously the show's about like relationships and friendships and all these things, but its main thing is being an LGBTQ show. So by having a political dynamic too, that might take too much away from the LGBTQ side. So I'm kind of glad they're putting her back doing art. Okay, deep breath. This is this is probably the main point of the video. And this is what the Deadline article says about Rosie O'Donnell. O'Donnell is set to guest star as Carrie, a brash yet kind-hearted public defender thrust into Bette's life. The Emmy-winning host, known for blah 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 blah, like, you know, and it talks about Nip Tuck and Tarzan and Drop Dead Diva and all these other things Rosie's done, because she's been around a very long time and she's very, very successful. And this is, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, so this is just some things that I want to say before we start talking about the L Word and her coming in, playing Carrie and Bette Tina and all that stuff. So Rosie O'Donnell, when she had her original The Rosie Show, she, in the beginning, I don't think was completely out, and then this is a bit like when I was a kid, so I'm, you know, not exactly sure on timelines. And also, if you go back and read things now, they have been tweaked and changed for an audience in 2020. Like, you know, Rosie O'Donnell was always titled the Queen of Nice. She really liked Tom Cruise, and people then used to think it was like a crush thing, and just it's hard to get actual information on the way people were and feeling at the time, because it's been completely manipulated by the modern world, the internet, blah blah blah. So Rosie O'Donnell, she had her talk show from 96 to 2002. I mean, she's done a ton of stuff. One of my ex-girlfriends, her favorite movie of all time is A League of Their Own, and I think I watched that movie with her like a million times. So that movie's with Tom Hanks, Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell, loads of other people, but it's, you know, kind of a lesbian classic. And I mean, she's done Sleepless in Seattle, Nip Tuck was a big show in the early 2000s too. And she also did a movie in 1997 with the one and only Jennifer Beals. It's called Twilight of the Gods. So if you're looking for something to watch, there you go. Rosie won a lot of Emmys. She's extremely successful, and pretty much you know, after a few years on her show, she did come out as gay, and she's always been very open about the fact that she is gay. She's had 2 wives, she has kids, all those things. And what I predominantly remember her from is 2006, 2007, she was on The View. Now, when Rosie was on The View, I graduated in high school in 2006, so I was 18, 19. I wasn't out yet, but I had a girlfriend, and I didn't know I was living in Florida. I didn't have any sort of gay community. The only gay people I knew was my girlfriend and her dad, but her dad didn't know that we were gay, but kind of sensed it, I guess. But my mom was a really big fan of The View, and that was like our thing. We used to always watch The View, and when I was in the first year or two of university, like I would always, you know, like we'd save some up, or in the evening, and I'd go and watch it with her. We talked about it all the time, and she really, really liked Rosie O'Donnell. And I remember when I came out, like my parents were basically like, oh, well, we like Rosie and Alan's. It's fine. But Rosie was kind of the first gay woman that I saw in a very, very public arena being very, very open. And she used to have all these arguments with the extremely conservative Elizabeth Hasselbeck, and also everyone's favorite, Donald Trump. She was the original Trump hater. So I'm just putting this all out here because I'm sure there's some younger audience members who don't really know Rosie, and there's some people who just outside of the US, I don't think she's super known either. So the next thing being, Rosie O'Donnell is actually a really good actress, and anything I've seen her in, I think she's been really good. She normally plays the same type of character, so I think that especially it seems as though there's going to be a lot going on with her and Jennifer Beals. I think we're going to get some amazing performances from Jennifer Beals against Rosie O'Donnell, and they know each other a little bit too, because they're both, you know, have been in the industry a very long time. They've done a movie together, so I think that this is a great partner for Jennifer Beals to be up against on screen. Getting a bit more into the casting side, as I've said multiple times, I said this way back, even when we first heard Tina say Carrie, before there was any, even before last season had finished airing, I said, if they bring Carrie on the show, I don't want this person to just be a clone of Bette, because that makes no sense why Tina would have left Bette then, because what the conversation with Shane and what Bette's alluded to last season, it seems as though either their relationship was ending, and right as it ended, Tina fell in love with someone else, or there was maybe not overlap of Tina physically doing anything, but the relationship ended because Tina fell for someone else, and we're led to believe that's Carrie. And if that's the case, there's no reason that Tina would leave Bette for someone the same as her, because you're getting the same thing out of the relationship. There has to be something else coming from either Carrie or from the relationship. So maybe Carrie's like some meek, quiet little person, and Tina's the super alpha. Like we don't know what to expect. All the news we've got is that tiny little bit of information. And if she's a public defender, I mean, that's a pretty admirable career, and it's a lot of responsibility. It's pretty, I wouldn't say high powered, but it kind of is, because you're a lawyer, you're very responsible, you've got lots of clients who most of the time are poor and in some sort of cycle of the system. People who have any choice but to get a public defender usually get another lawyer. Like the people who end up with public defenders are people who are already marginalized and treated terribly by society and are stuck in poverty or cycles or something. So, and usually public defenders are really, really smart and know what they're doing. They just have admirable hearts because they could sell out and go get some corporate job if they wanted. Like, they're a public defender because they want to help people. The main thing that I want to say is that, do I want Bette and Tina back together? Of course I do. That's not even a question. But if we think back to even this time last year when the first episode had aired, or, you know, September, October time when we were getting trailers but we didn't really have that much information, everyone was saying, we want Tina back, we want Tina back. Oh, I don't want to watch the show if Tina's not on it. And they led us to believe Laurel Holloman has another career now, she's not interested in coming back. No, it's just the OG3, that she's not coming back, Tina's not coming back. And what happened? Tina came back for 2 episodes, and now she's going to be in the 2nd season. They want to keep things a secret too, and judging by what Rosie said in her like Instagram live thing, she is shooting a job now, and then she's doing the L Word in January, and then she said she has another job that is Showtime show, but it's airing in September, so it doesn't sound like she's going to be on the show very much. So maybe we'll get like 2 or 3 episodes of her. I don't think it's going to be like a huge amount. I know that everybody who's like a really big Bette and Tina fan would be really happy if they had just got them back together and they were together for the rest of the show. But a lot of other people, not me, like the kind of will they, won't they drama and all this stuff. And I think that is more what the writers and everyone want to do. They want people to tune in and see, are they going to get together, is what's going to happen, because some people just, you know, they're not interested if just a couple is happy and all this. Some people just aren't. I mean, I like to see a bit of happiness in my TV shows, but each to their own. So we don't know. This could be some huge ruse to kind of get everyone thinking, oh, they're not going to get them back together, they're going to do this co-parenting thing, and then they surprise us like they did with Tina. We just don't know. So I think that we just don't know. And I think the one thing that everyone should remember, the most important thing, is that way back when the original show was on, in the very, very beginning, before the entirety of season 1 had even aired, people really liked and connected with Bette and Tina. When the first season ended, Eileen Chaikin has said this multiple times, there's tons of interviews, you can fact check this, everything, it's completely true. Eileen Chaikin said the original plan, like when she was making the show, was that she would have Bette and Tina, have them together, Bette would cheat with Candace, and then the whole thing, they would break up, and then that was it. There was no plan to get them back together. There was no plan to have this will they, won't they pregnancy, and then season 5 stuff, and then they have happily ever after in season 6. None of it. That wasn't going to happen. The only reason that happened is because of the fans and because of their reaction, the love that everyone had for the couple, the support, everything. So when we're all getting riled up, it's important to remember that they could be working to this goal. We can keep hoping, and the only thing that we can really do is be supportive of Bette and Tina, Tibette's Endgame, and the show. The more positivity we put out, the more we're going to get back. So those are my thoughts. I think it's going to be really interesting with Rosie. I'm looking forward more to the Bette and Carrie interaction, because as we all know, Bette cannot control herself around Tina, and she is always super jealous. And if that dinner scene is anything to go by when Tina told Bette that she was getting married, yeah, Jennifer Beals acting is just, it's going to be another crime if she doesn't get an Emmy this season, I'm sure. I can foresee already it's going to be amazing. So, dare I say, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to it? If you want Bette and Tina to be the ultimate endgame, like the video, let me know down below. Let me know on Instagram, let me know on Twitter, let me know everywhere. Because remember what I said, Bette and Tina would not exist without the fans. And also, come on, let's give Rosie a break. She seems like a good person, seems like she's good to her fans. She is the original Trump hater, we have to give her that. And someone was going to have to play Carrie. So let's look for the positive, look for the great on-screen action that we're going to get between Jennifer Beals, Laurel Holloman, and Rosie O'Donnell. There's going to be some tension for sure. Let me know all your thoughts, comments, opinions down in the comment section. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so that you can get all the information as it comes through about season 2. Don't forget, I am going live every Friday now, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you go on my community page, you'll see all the different time zones too. And also, don't forget to follow me on social media. That's where I drop a lot of the news, like when those castings came through last night. Like, I will instantly put it on social media, and then I'll do a video and talk more about it, thoughts, opinions, everything. But if you want to get the news about the L Word season 2 first, follow me on social media. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!